What's up, guys? It is time to show off another build. I'm gonna grab something. Apparently the wife didn't hear me. I just want to be able to show off something here in a second. So we have something pretty cool. If you recall, I don't know, it's probably been, I don't want to say it's been a year, but you know, it's probably been a year. I used to do a lot of collar shift builds. So we've got ourselves a collar shift build here. So you can see it's brown, gold, but you can see that the Kraken itself is purple. So it's just how the light hits things. When it's straight on, it itself is also gold. And I don't know if gold is the correct word, because it also does green and it does brown, and then you've got purple. Now when I say purple, there's a purple in this that's so predominantly purple that it's, oh man, I didn't think I'd have a trouble showing off the purple, because this thing is normally like 100% vibrant purple. And man, I cannot find like the whole watch. So as you can see, it's kind of tough to show off what color this is, but this is a full cerakoted build. You've got a silver ring inside the glass, and you've got a silver Omega style handset in there. And then other than that, everything else is done in Pagoda Temple over a black base. So it's bead blasted, black cerakoted, then Pagoda Temple. This is a bezel off of a 280 Kommandersky, which has some good height to it and kind of tapers in. So you know, most of my builds, the glass sticks up. This is actually flush. So that's kind of cool. Most of mine are kind of out here and have a bezel insert. And then you've got your dome sticking out. I don't know, I would say a good millimeter above. But this style, not that way. So lasered Kraken crown, lasered Kraken caseback, Kraken on the clasp, Kraken across, a little BVW down here. And then you've got a link bands. This is a 100 case, a 280 Kommandersky bezel, and we did a milled case back and lasered it. Now if you ever nick this or anything, just use a little bit of gun oil, and that normally like disappears it. Unless you're getting down into the metal. If you get down a little bit, you're getting into black, because this has a black base to it. So this is a full collar shift cerakote build. These are a little more expensive because it's multiple coats. A little bit tougher to work with to get the glass seated, case back, crown. But what I was wanting her to bring over is, so this is over a black base. So most of your color shifting cerakotes, you can see it's purple and not purple, right? So this is over a black base. If you do it over a white base, you get, man, I wish the camera would pick these up like they do in real life. Because like this has all kinds of crazy pinks and stuff in it that I'm looking at, and I cannot see that. Yeah, see that reflection? On mine, I'm looking at it right over the camera, and it has pinks in it. I wish I could realistically show you how this looks, but these are not showing as well. But doing a different base is what's important to reference. So what I was getting at with this is, we have all kinds of collars, but depending on what kind of base you do, that top coat reacts differently with it in a collar shift. So this one doesn't have much of a color shift to it. Over black, it has a pretty abundant color shift. But it's even hard to even feature that right now, because like from here you can see this swatch is purple, right? Back here it is purple. Now you're starting to see that color around it. But in real life, looking at this is fairly dark purple, and then around it is not. But it's just so hard to show these off, even with a video, of what you're getting here. Man, I used to remember taking pictures of these from the side because you could get all kinds of different angles from them on what you're getting. But with the sun not being out right now, it is a little bit difficult to show off. With this, the bezel will turn left, it'll turn right. These are non-click style bezels, just tension ring bezels. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, wear it, put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit to keep time throughout the day. You do have a rotor back here, you just can't see it. You would back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point you can wind. And a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing from the case and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your rotor movement should keep your time throughout the day. But if you're not going to be very active, sitting, driving, go ahead and just wind it out as if you just have a wind watch. And go another 10 seconds. You got like a 31+ hour power reserve on it. A lot of times if I wind these up and set them down, they'll go about 36 hours, but it's considered a 31 minimum power reserve. They don't say what the maximum is, but 35 to 36 hours is about what I have. So wind it up. When you're good with your winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. It doesn't have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. And you'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressures on it. Okay, Google, what time is it? 1:50 p.m. 1:50 p.m. And I'm glad all football is tomorrow, because normally I do waffles on Saturdays. And I was like, man, am I going to be throwing this up in between these playoff games? Because they've been having some of them on Saturday. So glad we don't have that. When you're good, you're going to push it out of that time setting and then just wind it down. And that is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. These match. Just depends on when they match. When that one matches, that one might not be matching, but that one might be matching. Just depends on where it is, So when I showed this to the wife yesterday, she goes, okay, you made a brown watch. I'm like, brown? It's all purple. She's like, I can't see any purple. And then today she goes, holy crap, that's just a purple watch. And I was like, well, no, it's the way you're holding it, it's a brown watch. It's like, as you can tell from where you're standing, everything looks way different than what I'm seeing. So she's like, okay, it's brown, but it's kind of glitter gold. Yeah, that too, and purple. So, very awesome looking watch. As with every build, you see you get your beads there. I grabbed, this is the closest thing I had to a color match. I know what you're saying, that doesn't match in color. Sometimes it does. See, right there. That matches. Now it doesn't really match. Now it matches. See? We're good. It's there. It's just hard to get there, right? You're going to have watch foamer. This is good on all glass and metal parts to this watch as a whole. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. Along with a microfiber. And soon I'll have the BVW ones. I found what happened with mine. The factory burnt down. So, yeah. So I'm supposed to have them next week. or they have them in hand, and I'm going to have them like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you might get a BVW one instead of a Wrist Clean one, which they're still from Wrist Clean, but it'll just have my logo instead. And then lastly, you're going to get some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It is like poly watch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your included microfiber that matches the color. Even if I get my new ones, I'm still going to get these ones, so long as they always have this brown color. Apparently, the full stock of blue that they had is gone, so it's not a color I can get anymore. But I didn't do blue very much, so I'm gonna get like a lighter gray than the dark gray I wanted. So it should be esque like this. You know, it's kind of a blue gray kind of color. But that is the build, and if it's going to you, congrats. You got an awesome watch. And these are push pins. They might look like they've got the head of a flat head, but that's just where it's tapered together. You're going to go to the indent side, and you're going to push those through. Combine it, feed the tapered side back through, and tap it in flush on this side so that the other end is still an indented area. And then it's reverse on this side. Your indents are over here. You tap them down through, tap it down through, combine, feed it back through with the tapered side, and then tap it. And obviously it's not as long as the link, and that's why it doesn't come all the way to the top, giving you a recessed area to tap it back down again. And then you have your micro adjustments here. It's just a little push pin, just like what you've got up here, though these are quick release spring bars. This is not a quick release spring bar. You would just use tweezers, push that down. I normally walk it over. I normally push it down and then keep it in there and kind of turn it to where it clicks back through on this one. Then do it over here and push it over, because if you try and do them both at the same time, it's a bit of a wreck. So I just walk it over once, walk it over once. So if you go from here to here, you are doing what I believe is a full link. So if you need to make any adjustments, and this is a double lock clasp, over time this will get easier and easier to go on. It's not that difficult. It is a little bit forceful, but that's because you're working against Cerakote. A tiny bit of gun oil would correct that, but it is a nice solid hard click. Just over time it won't be that, because it won't be as thick. So that is your purple watch. That's also your gold watch. It's also shades of green and shades of brown. And I hope you love it. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I do them all the time. Thanks, guys.